Welcome to the video called Minor Pirates, and what this video lesson is, it's an explanation of two new chords that we're going to learn, and those new chords, one is the E minor and the other is the D. So we've learnt the D7, the next one is called D major, or just D, we'll just call it D. But let's just focus on that E minor chord for a minute, and why is it called E minor? So what minor chords are a collection of notes when played together create a somber, melancholic, sad tone, worrisome, as if something's not quite right or there's danger looming. I'll play the E to listen to how full major chords sound bright, welcoming, inviting and happy. And then you play the E minor chord, and it gives that sense of dread, like a storm's coming. And that's the whole point of minor chords, to give that emotion, that feeling. So the tune that I played at the start of this video lesson was What Shall We Do with the Drunken Sailor. Now, if you picture that song in your head and the lyrics, what probably comes to mind is swashbuckling pirates sailing the seven seas, storms, scurvy, drinking rum, firing cannons, muck, grime, rotten wood, the plank, all them kind of grim thoughts, you know. And the E minor, oh, got hair on my nose, or the minor chords create that sense of foreboding, you know, unsure of what they're going to find when they set off on that ship. So another thing to think about as well is a thing called keys and playing in the key of a certain note. Now, the key that we normally play in, because our banjo is tuned to our lovely standard open G, all the tunes that we've played up to now have all been in the key of G, which in its most simplest form, it just means the start and the end of the song starts with G, and then you might do a few chords, but then it always ends in G. And it creates that loop, and then you can play it over and over again, the song. You'll see on the Boiling Cabbage Down video that I made, it got the roller coaster that starts off level and it goes up and it goes down and it goes up, and when it gets to the end it's back to the same level it started on, and then it creates like a loop where this tune can be repeated. So that means normally we play tunes in the key of G. Now for the tune What Shall We Do with the Drunken Sailor, because we start off on the E minor chord and we finish in the E minor chord, that tune is played in the key of E minor. Now there's actually a chap on TikTok called Attillion, or Attillion. Now he's found his own style of playing clawhammer, and what he's done, he's down-tuned his second string to, I'm not sure, I'll put it on the screen what he's down-tuned it to, but then his banjo is then tuned to a minor chord. And all of his tunes then are played in minor, and he's actually done a really popular song, You Are My Sunshine, in that minor chord, and it sounds really menacing and such a contrast, because it's such a nice happy song. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy when skies are blue, but yet he's playing it in that E minor chord and it sounds like just almost a sense of dread and evil, like it's such a juxtaposition that you're singing or playing that happy tune with such a foreboding and scary minor sound. Now I think we'll all agree that learning a brand new chord shape with our fretting hand is no easy task. In fact, it's probably one of the more challenging things that you might have found up to now is, you know, trying that D7 and then a C chord and then switching between the two and then going from open to a C, open to D7, switching between the two. Tricky, isn't it? So then if I'm going to tell you on this particular lesson that we're not only going to learn one chord, the E minor, but we're going to learn two, the E minor and the D, and put it to good use by playing a song. You might think, why have I not broken this lesson up into two? You know, do one for the E minor, one for the D. Because what I wanted to demonstrate to you is that even when you're learning new chord shapes, there's always things that we can do with our fretting hand to make our lives easier as banjo players. Now, as banjo players, we are quite lazy people. Straight away, you know, we tune our banjo to open G, so we don't have to play a G chord. That's nice and lazy. We put our fifth string down here, so we can only work with four strings up here, nice and lazy. And, you know, if we wanted to play in like a C tuning, we have to like retune our pegs to play a C, so it makes life easier. Everything we do is to make life easier. And fretting chords is no different. And I'm going to demonstrate in just a moment how, even though it's a new chord shape, the E minor, it's not too different to what we already know. And there are tricks and techniques to make switching between the E minor and the D a lot more accessible and easy, and yeah, we can get used to it fairly quickly. So let's get a close-up and we'll have a look what's going on. Right, so in the last few video lessons in this module, we've been looking at the C chord when we learnt to play Boil and Cabbage Down. So for the C chord, obviously ring finger, second fret, index finger there, and our middle finger goes there. That enables us to play that C chord. Now the E minor, all you need to do is take your index finger and remove it. So all we're doing then, we're fretting the first and the fourth strings on the second fret. And it creates that lovely E minor sound. Take our hand off, open G. Now you can play it either way. You can either put your middle finger, first string, second fret, index finger there. But what I like to do is use my ring finger, and I'll show you why in just a moment. So put your ring finger, first string, second fret, middle finger, fourth string, second fret. So that's the E minor chord. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go straight into the D chord now, and I'll show you how to fret that one. So we're going to take our ring finger, put it on the first string at the fourth fret. I'm going to take your middle finger, put that on the second string, third fret, and then your index finger, if I just twist my banjo, it's going to go middle string at the second fret. So you're creating this diagonal line almost with your fingers, and that is the D major chord. Okay, so this position is totally new to us, so it might take a bit of getting used to, but I'll show you a little hack to switch between the E minor and the D. So that's the D chord. Take your fingers off, try it again. There you go. And as with any chord, obviously you want to get your fingers just behind the frets. So let's go back to that E minor chord. Remember, our ring finger goes there, middle finger goes there. So I want to switch from E minor to D. Now what is the simplest, most shortest, shortcut, laziest way that I could possibly do this? So let's have a look what fingers are already in position. Our ring finger is on the right string, it's just on the wrong fret. So what we'll do, because it's on the right string, we're going to anchor our ring finger down. And all I mean by doing that is just apply more pressure to your ring finger. That way it can't move then, it's stuck to that. It's like a train on a railway track. It's just anchored now. So you can move that up and down. It's not going to fly around and do its own thing. So E minor, I'm going to lift off our middle finger. Our ring finger is anchored. And then we're going to slide it up so it's in position. So all we have to do then is figure out what to do with these two fingers. So it's just a case of getting into the habit of just slamming them two fingers down in the right positions. Let's do a little exercise. Just do a couple of strums. Lift them two fingers up, slide back up, whack your middle finger on that E minor chord. Do 4 strums, lift up, slide up, getting 2 fingers in position. Just keep repeating that. I didn't even put my finger on them. There we go. E minor, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. E minor, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. E minor, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. Once you get comfortable doing that, take your hand off, give it a wiggle, and then start again. And this time we'll do a little bum ditty pattern on the 1st and 2nd string. E minor, 2, and D, 2, and D, 2, and E minor, 2, and E minor, 2, and D, 2, and D, 2, and E minor. Experiment, hit the other strings now. What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? So let's take the tune What Would You Do with a Drunken Sailor, and instead of playing it in the key of E minor, that mysterious, foreboding, scary, spooky chord, why not try and play it in the key of G? You know, surely we can play the tune, and we can. And it'll sound something like this. So it doesn't really quite give the image of, you know, sailing the 7 seas and swashbuckling pirates, does it? It gives more of the impression of 4 young lads on a stag night, on a stag do, in a rented longboat going down the Norfolk Broad, sipping Pims and cocktails, you know. It's not quite the same mysterious, spooky sound that the minor chords make, because they will come and serve you well over time. So yeah. Have a go at that, and have a go at the tune What Would You Do with the Drunken Sailor. I'll eventually put a video playthrough of the tune in the play section. But yeah, take that away with you, have a good practice, and let me know how you get on in the banjo cabin. I'll see you on the next video.